Welcome to the Mind Spark, bringing you the latest news from around the world. This week, a Supreme Court decision sent shockwaves across the country and the world. The court blocked President Trump's sweeping tariffs, directly challenging a key part of his economic policy. This wasn't just a legal headline, it could change the price of goods, the security of jobs, and America's global relationships. The ruling reignited debate over who controls major economic policy, the president or Congress. The court's answer was clear. The power to regulate foreign commerce belongs to Congress, as the Constitution intended. For months, families and businesses struggled with rising prices and uncertainty. The decision landed in the middle of this anxiety, offering a new direction and sparking reactions from relief to outrage. President Trump vowed to keep fighting, while opponents called it a victory for the rule of law. For Americans, the big questions remain: will prices drop, will jobs return, and what does this mean for our future? To understand the court's decision, we need to know why these tariffs existed. Tariffs are taxes on imported goods, meant to make foreign products more expensive and boost American industry. President Trump's America First agenda used tariffs to target goods from China, Mexico, Canada, and the EU, aiming to fix trade imbalances and protect national security. Supporters saw tariffs as a defense of American jobs and manufacturing. Opponents, farmers, small businesses, and corporations, warned of higher costs, disrupted supply chains, and retaliation from other countries. The impact was personal. Midwest farmers lost export markets, small businesses faced soaring costs, and families paid more for everyday items. The debate wasn't just political, it was about livelihoods. As the trade war escalated, winners and losers emerged in every corner of the nation. The stage was set for a legal showdown that would decide the future of American trade policy. The tariff fight quickly moved from factories and farms to the courts. Small businesses, industry groups, and states challenged the president's authority to impose tariffs without Congress. The legal battle centered on whether old trade laws gave the president sweeping emergency powers. The administration argued for broad authority. Challengers insisted only Congress could set tariffs. The Supreme Court took up the case, with the nation watching closely. In a 6-3 decision, the court sided with the challengers. Chief Justice Roberts wrote that regulating foreign commerce is Congress's job, not the president's. The ruling reasserted the separation of powers and set a new precedent for presidential authority. The Supreme Court's ruling triggered powerful emotions nationwide. In California, a young couple hoped for lower home building costs. Families everywhere looked for relief from rising prices. Midwest farmers saw a lifeline, hoping to regain lost export markets and save their family farms. Port workers and shippers welcomed the return of global trade, but in Rust Belt factory towns, many felt betrayed. Believing tariffs protected their jobs, they now feared layoffs. President Trump's supporters called the ruling a political attack. Opponents celebrated a win for the Constitution. The decision exposed deep divides over trade, jobs, and America's place in the world. The fight over tariffs was far from over, but for many, the ruling offered hope for stability and a fresh start. For small businesses, the court's decision was a turning point. In Iowa, a hardware store owner finally saw hope for stable prices, and the chance to keep his doors open. A Colorado bike shop owner could now plan for growth, no longer squeezed by unpredictable costs. Auto repair shops and tech companies looked forward to easier access to affordable parts and components. The end of tariffs promised relief from supply chain chaos and price hikes. Across Main Street, business owners could finally set budgets and invest in their communities. The ruling removed a major source of instability. Entrepreneurs could focus on serving customers and creating jobs, not surviving a trade war. The decision gave local economies a foundation to rebuild. For many, it was the certainty they desperately needed. Wall Street's reaction was swift and positive. Stock markets surged as investors welcomed the end of tariff uncertainty. Automakers and retailers saw their shares climb, anticipating lower costs and stronger sales. The ruling signaled a return to predictable trade policy, boosting business confidence. Companies resumed investments and expansion plans that had been on hold. Banks and lenders saw reduced risk, making it easier for businesses to access capital. The financial community viewed the decision as a win for economic stability. For investors, it was a clear sign: the era of trade chaos was over. Legal scholars called the Supreme Court's decision a landmark for constitutional law. The ruling reinforced the separation of powers, making clear that Congress, not the president, controls trade policy. It set a precedent that future presidents can't bypass Congress on major economic decisions. The decision revived Congress's central role in shaping the nation's economic destiny. Lawmakers must now debate and vote on trade, facing accountability for the outcomes. The ruling was seen as a victory for the rule of law and the resilience of checks and balances. It clarified the boundaries of executive power. The court reminded the nation the Constitution's guardrails still hold. The Supreme Court's decision echoed worldwide. America's allies in Europe and Canada welcomed the move, hoping for more stable trade relations. The ruling was seen as a return to rules-based diplomatic trade negotiations. International institutions like the WTO saw renewed relevance. Even China viewed the decision as a chance for more productive talks. The end of tariff uncertainty eased global market anxiety and supply chain disruptions. The world saw this as more than an American legal matter. It was a step toward global stability. The hope, a calmer, more cooperative economic future. As the dust settles, America stands at a crossroads. The Supreme Court's ruling hasn't solved every problem, but it's a moment of clarity and a chance for a fresh start. By reaffirming Congress's role, the court invites a more open, inclusive debate on trade policy. Lawmakers and citizens alike must engage, shaping a fair and effective economic future. The decision is a testament to the strength of America's democratic institutions. Even in polarized times, the system of checks and balances worked. This is more than a policy change, it's a call to action for unity and collaboration. The challenges ahead are real, but so are the opportunities. It's a new dawn for American trade, and for the nation's sense of hope.